Art students, Brian Proctor, the art teacher, back again. And when I say art teacher, this one is packed with a lot of knowledge. So this is the final position. I did lose some of the filming of it because I filmed in parts and I lost one part, but it really doesn't make a difference. You know, most of it was done. You'll see it. And at the end of it, I give you a whole lot of knowledge. I just kind of went into teacher mode. So you will learn something when you finish watching this video. All right, so let's get on with it and enjoy and subscribe, tell a friend, you know, all that stuff that I always say. All right, let's go for it. All right, so I'm gonna stop here because I lost some of the footage on this while I was working on some other videos. It got erased somehow. So this is the final drawing part. I know it stopped before it had some of the detail. So yeah, I'm just gonna ink this off camera and I'm gonna focus on drawing this or showing you how to do this position and talk about positioning. So signature positions, that's what I was trying to say. So let's go ahead, I'm going to ink this off and then I'll be in a split second back to tell you or to show you how to do this. All right, so I'm going to stop here, and this is ink, but it's not the final ink. I thought that I would let somebody know just in case they're wondering what pens I use or whatever. But this, I always do the either 005 or the what is that, 0.5 pen. And it doesn't really make a difference what pen I use. I usually do whatever's cheapest. You know, if you have a steady hand to draw, it doesn't make a difference what type of pencil you use. It's all in the fingers and the arms. So I'll go over it with this pen first because it has the pen point that I need so I can stay in the line that I want. And then later on I'll come back either with an S or something maybe a little thicker and then just do my line weight. Now usually you do line weight, piece of paper, and I will show you what I'm trying to say. Piece of paper. Usually you do, let's just say this and this and this and this. You do your line weight where the light is not coming, so your line weight would be more thicker down here in the valleys versus on the mountaintops, and then definitely thicker down here, but more thicker, I believe, or yeah, the line would be more thicker there and then here. But when I ink, oh, that was my camera's close. Let's see if I can do that without the camera freaking out again. As I said, I don't know how long it was it was blurred. You have your light coming down here. So this is going to be lit more than this. This is going to be lit more than this here. So you put a thicker line. When you ink your line, like right there, let me get one of my big jumbos. You ink your line, you're coming up, and then you're going to get like thick down here, thin and thick. Same thing. This whole thing is going to be a little thicker, but it's going to be more thicker in the areas there. So when I ink, I usually do it in reverse. It's just me. I'll take the highest points and I'll ink it. And this is what is this? This is a zebra. This is like a Chinese brush zebra. They give you 3 sizes. Sometimes I use it because just the way the nib is made. I'll do it here. I'll do my opposites. I'll do the top of the circle more darker to give it more of that roundness. So I already have my thin lines there. So I'll just kind of go over where I figure, as I said, the highest point really. And then just fade in. And that's how I tend to do my inking. A professional inker would be like, man, that is just so wrong. But you know, it works for me. So let me use this one here. And I tend to prefer to ink off camera because I can kind of take my time, even though it can be a speed drawing. I just really prefer to ink off camera because I'm just turning the paper left and right and around. So whenever you see it in a speed drawing, that's kind of all you see. Or when I speed it up, not so much of a speed drawing. And this here is called a tangent, and for the longest time I couldn't remember what that word is. You see this leg line here is going right up into this arm line to make it one line. That's something that you should stay away from. You should stay away from that if possible. If not, I mean, if the drawing calls for those lines to kind of intersect, because it looks like one line now, you can't really distinguish. So if that ever happens, you take the outer line and you just make it more thicker over that back one, so that people will know, you know, which one is which. And you keep that one in the back a little thinner. So let me go ahead and cut this again and finish inking, and then I'll go into how I drew this and talk about it a little bit more. All right, so here we are with the final ink product, and it is final until I find something else that I want to probably do. But going back to inking, a couple of things. It was another tangent line right here at his leg because this curves up and this curves out as well. So you want to start looking at those things when you draw. When you draw something closer, like the hand should be darker or thicker. The line should be thicker than the one in the back. AKA, if I drew something like this, if I drew this, I went back like that, and I did it with my thin pen, first of all, because you should always be drawing with a sharp pencil, because you get more detail that way. And if I ink that, because this is up to the front, close to the front, well, I'm going to just use the fat pen, just give you an over dramatic example. Which just makes it, just brings it out closer. So if this was a hand, imagine if this was an arm, the thicker the line is, the closer you are bringing it to you or the reader. And then you can go from thick to thin. And then because of that, it makes that look like it's going so far back. So if I had this hand actually punching towards you, and it was the fist, and then I had the arm going back, it should have been bigger, really. It should be more like this, and the arm goes back like that. Then you could have that thick line you know, and kind of make these a little bit, but this one would be the thickest part, but you get the gist of the whole thing that I'm saying. And this goes all the way back as far as inking. Also, when I ink, I still do remember, you know, you have to remember the, you know, your basics of inking, that yeah, still there's going to be more shadow under the bottom of something, even though I put a lot of my darker, thicker lines on top. You still have to remember the basics of it, so you don't want everything reversed. All right, so I'm not going to put a head on this guy because last time I did a position where the pelvic was more thrusted to the front. YouTube actually took it down. They took off my thumbnail and put another thumbnail up there. And I'm thinking, did I forget to put a thumbnail up there? But then they took it down saying about nudity. And I guess because I gave the guy a face, so they just thought that it was just, you know, nudity, even though you look at my channel and you see that's what I do. Not nudity, but position. So I'm not going to put a face on this guy. Now, let's talk about character position, not character, signature positions for a minute. Now, when you first look at this, the first thing you're going to think about is Spider-Man. That's the first position you think about is Spider-Man, because Spider-Man does positions like that. He's known for doing positions like that. But Batman will do a position like this. Nightwing will do a position like that. Black Panther could do a position like that. So you have to have that signature position, and that's why I said in another video, there's not too many different positions out there. You know, they've been used up, not because, how can I say this? Not because there's just not a lot of positions out there, but it's just when you run, it's a run. You know, you cannot, the only thing you can do is just angle it differently for the camera. A run is a run, a jump is a jump, a punch is a punch. So somebody asked me a long time ago, oh, could I use this position? And I was like, yeah, you can. Nobody has the right to copyrights on using any position. You know, it's just, if you're jumping over something and you throw your legs up, it's just you balance. That's just a natural balance. You're going to swing, you know, one arm's going to be in front, one arm's going to be in the back, and you could be either shooting a web or blasting something or about to, you know, palm somebody's head that's over there, or it could be a wall or something that he's jumping over. So don't ever worry about, oh, you know, I'm going to take that position, you know, I'm going to get in trouble or somebody's going to know. It's just how you do it. If I pick up this pen, my hand is going to do the same thing all the time. So you can't say, oh, you drew Brian's hand picking up a pen. You can't do that. No, it's just the way the body moves. So let me, because I think that's all I wanted to say about this. Let me, and I could have shadowed that, but one of my weaknesses is shadow. Either I put too little or too much. That is why, and I don't want to press the issue of, oh, I have a book out there again, but it does help. And let me grab one of my books to show you. All right, and I actually do feel bad. I don't know why I feel bad, you know, showing my book over and over again, but you know, it's my book, so why should I feel bad about it? So one of the good things about, let's take a bigger drawing, is that you can take a position like this. And I know when we're young or when you're in school, they're like, don't draw in the book, don't draw in the book. And this is one reason why I like to do a lot of open positions. You can take any of these and then just add your own shadow, your own amount of shadow to it that you want. I mean, if you're doing this in pencil, it will erase. This is pretty good paper. Now see, I can do this because it's something like really I don't care about. Not so much I don't care about the book, but the drawing, I'm not really caring so much about this drawing here. But if I was trying to ink this, I would, so, you know, I think I was not born to be an inker. Let me turn this light on. Let me see if it's too much light. I was not born to be an inker. I was born to be an artist. So a penciler, not artist, a penciler. So I'm trying to find a darker pencil so you can actually see this shadow that I'm putting on here. See, I can't see it because the glare in my light. Yeah, so I think I just started inking because when you start a comic book or company or whatever, you have to learn how to do everything yourself. You can't say, well, I don't know how to ink, so my comic book is just sitting there forever until I find an inker. you have to be able to do that stuff yourself. So this is a great way to practice. Find, I mean, you can get this book or find any book that has an open character or body, and then just start adding your shadow. Just say, okay, well, the sun is going to come from this way, the light's coming from this way. It could be some coming up, it can be wherever, and then you just start adding your shadow to that character. And do it in a pencil, because as I say, this paper, rightly enough, will erase. And then you can do it again. You can say, okay, I like that position, but I want to change the direction of the light. So whatever you have, you can just erase it and then do it again. So yeah, it's good to, and for those who are maybe new, this is kind of like, I was, this is a 360 book. It's just for different positions. As I said, there's not a lot of different positions out there. You always see kind of the same position. So you might say to yourself, I like that position, but I need it tilted a little bit. What would that look like? This just kind of like answers the question. You know, I have a few positions in here, and I'll take like one position and then I'll turn it, you know, 5 different ways. And I want to come up with another book, but time-wise, it's just really hard to do. So this is what this book started out with, and then this is kind of like the first season, you could say, of my YouTube channel, Finished Drawings. Somebody asked me that too, and I told them, do I have a book with all my finished drawings? And I told them no, but I was thinking about, you know, today, or let's just say the second year, second season, whatever you want to call it, of, you know, positions. And if you go on the channel and you look for this, you type in, if you go to YouTube and you type in action pose, position, folded arms, these are the titles of these drawings. So like if you see one now and you're like, oh, that's a nice drawing, I want to do that. You know, just go on YouTube and then type in whatever, action pose position 37, and then you'll come up with this one. So yeah, enough about that. All right, so let me show you guys how I drew this character quickly, because I lost the other part of the filming. Hate it, but I did. So let me just do it just quick. This is not gonna be really detailed. It's my light. All right, so first thing, you always start with the torso. You want to kind of visually make sure you're not going to go off of your paper, which is, you know, I do that sometimes, rookie mistake. And it's 2 different color paper. This is what is this stuff called? It's I'll get it in a second. This is regular copy paper, and this is more the cardstock for my finished drawings. And you should always have thicker paper for your finished drawings. It lasts longer. So what I want to do is I want to tilt it. It's going to be this way. That center line is going to be this way, so the oval is not going to be up like this. Let me go a little darker. It's going to be that instead of that. It's going to be, this center line is going to be here. And because you're going to see this open part, I kind of visually imagine this. So like if you chop the top of this off, and it would be flat, kind of like that. It wouldn't really be flat, but it's kind of like that. So it's going to be quick. So you know, given. So if I'm drawing straight up and down, I'll put the head last. But if I'm doing it at an angle, I'll kind of throw the head in there like 3rd or 4th, you know, just so I can see how big the shoulders are going to be or need to be. Then of course, you know, you have your delt. Your other delt, this arm is swinging around, so you're going to bring that delt kind of in front of the body a little bit, but wherever that collarbone is, you know, that delt is going to be right there in the center. So let's say the collarbone is like right here, so the delt is going to be here, which your delt goes behind the back, far behind the back. So, and just using, can you see that? Now, I know I have a lot of lines. Let's do this. This is a little long, but that's okay, because he's leaning over. So if the chest is here and this is here, if he leaned over, this collarbone would be right here, the chest would be here, and this little opening would be like this. And then the head would be here. So you just have to take that in consideration, remembering this whole thing is round. So when I do my chest is going to be round like that, this opening. It's going to be right there under the chest. And these are just the simple lines. And since there's so many lines, I'll try to ink it. Why am I talking so fast? I don't know. It's just me. So we have your delt, your arm here going back, cylinder, and another cylinder. Now, one thing, when I make videos, I try to make it for all skill levels. That's got to be pulled back. That's a natural long arm, so you need to shorten that. I make it for all skill levels. I try not to do it for advanced because somebody said, why don't you do some advanced drawings? You know, and if I did a lot of advanced drawings, a lot of beginners would be left out. And if I do a lot of beginning drawings, people that are advanced, that want to advance more, would not be able to get something out of my videos. So I try to kind of meet in the middle and just in between stuff, give you information, because I believe that talent is 30% and skill is 70%. You can have the skill to draw, talent, skill, what knowledge, I'm sorry, knowledge. You can have the skill to draw something, but not the knowledge to do it, like the shadowing and so forth, and the curves of the muscle and foreshortening. I mean, you can draw, but it's like, oh, that's good, but you know, this is kind of wrong. So I try to mix it up for all skill levels to be able to draw something. And it's all geared toward comic books anyway, because I love comic books, because comic books, you tell stories. You can tell the stories of whatever. You bring your stories to life, basically, in comics. So this is going to be rounded. I didn't do the cylinder. It's going to be round like this. This is going to be round like that. And that hand is going to be more almost a flat square. Like that. Then you put the thumb, two pieces, a piece here and a piece to connect there. And then you just kind of bend those fingers. Even though you have 3 joints in your fingers, most times in comics, you just do the 2 because they're so small. The drawings are so small, nobody's going to really try to count unless you're doing a close-up of a hand. Then you have to put more detail into it. So you just do that one little bend in the middle. And once you print this, it's going to shrink down anyway. It's going to shrink down so small that who's going to count the joints in his finger? Now, if you have like 6 fingers, people will realize that, you know, you messed up. But nobody's going to count the joint, because that's not really what counts. It's usually the expression. But yes, the hands and the face do tell the whole story. The expressions of the face and the gestures in the hands tell the whole story. If you're relaxed, if you're stressed, if you're under tension. So something else to remember. That's why I said knowledge is like 70%, skill is just 30%. Because I've seen some people that really shouldn't have been drawing some books, and they drawing for Marvel. And I'm thinking, why could I not get a job back then if they're putting out stuff like this? So, you know, or hiring people that draw like this. So, yeah. I'm thinking either they needed something real quick, or they got the cousin or the best friend's cousin or whatever to draw because they needed to get a story out real quick, or they just couldn't find anybody. So, okay, we have a little bit of the buttocks here, the leg, which is a cylinder, and it's going to be kind of off anyway, but that's all right. This is a quick sketch. Like that, or an oval. Usually the fat part of the leg I do as an oval. This one I usually tend to do more of a cylinder. And this is going to go up. It cuts in. It's kind of like the torso and the leg kind of I'm pushing my arm against my body, like you can see. It kind of comes together. Like you bringing one arm over and it's going to, or the leg over, and it's going to come together. So it's not going to be that tangent. It's just going to be pressing up against that body. It's going to come out like this. Come down. Like I said, I use a cylinder for this one. This one I usually tend to just use the oval. And then the bottom of that foot. Just draw the bottom of your foot. If you have a hard time drawing that, draw the bottom foot. You're going to have, I would grab a shoe, but I don't have a shoe right now. You're going to have the inside comes in like this. Outside can stay rounded. Inside is like you're going to have this little, I think, is that the arch? I don't know. And then just kind of bring this in and bring this up. And I drew the foot a little over too far, but just showing you how to do the inside of the foot. And if the foot is bent up, then it's you're going to have just like the wrists, you're going to have that little meat, that little fold right there to show that the foot is kind of bent up. And the same thing with the other side, draw your foot. You always know how to draw an oval. So remember, this can stay rounded. This one can come, it comes in and then back out. And then just draw a line that's going to come right to that leg and then kind of give it a little bit of fold, and then there's your heel. And that's how you would draw the bottom of a foot. Knowledge, knowledge. So, and then you go from the muscle. So, for the muscle. So it's really easy to draw. I keep telling people it's simple to draw, but when you start to wanting to understand how the muscles go, muscles flex when you move. So don't try to put so much muscle into your character in the beginning if you don't really know, how the muscles actually go. I'm still learning because I want to learn more about the muscles myself. This should be down a little further, because if I have a cylinder like this, that long, and this cylinder, where's my thing? Perfect example. This is why I have these things. And I tilt it down more, it's going to get shorter. The distance between here and here is going to get shorter. It's going to get shorter and shorter and shorter until it disappears. So that determines how much your arm is. If it's out to the side, it's going to be like this. If it's moving forward, it's going to be shorter and shorter until you don't see anything except the hand. So let me just do just a really, really, really quick ink on this one. So remember, if you are, I just threw my pencil down, and I'm talking fast. I don't know why I'm talking fast. Let me slow down. It's my video. I can make it as long as I want to. So you have the oval. Again, this is just this part right here. Let's say here's the whole oval, and you slice it off here. Here is my delt. Here's my collarbone. And so I guess you can use that slice off point as the collarbone. Collarbone connects to the delt in the center right here. This is this, and this is the center. So this is my arm going back. So when you are reaching forward and around, this delt, this is your delt, and this is your delt, which is usually right here, is going to come around. It's going to come around the body. So which means you're going to have that curve in your back to bring your delt around. So you're kind of seeing that already. The curve, here's your delt, here's my arm coming around. And that could be a punch or whatever. You could swung to do a punch. But you're going to have to remember, and that's something that for the longest time, I didn't really know it. I didn't really master it or didn't see it. So all of my drawings always had that straight shoulder regardless. And that's one thing about toys. Let me get this because this is important. It's because we draw from toys. Unless you're fortunate enough to have somebody, a live model in your house, we draw from toys, and the shoulders, all this stuff is just solid. This is solid. This is not going to bend. Now they have in these expensive toys, they have these little center joints that can actually bring your arm. You see how that's going? It can bring your arm around a little bit more, but all the same, this is still going to be flat, shall we say. So this whole thing kind of curves around. So you have to, and this is another reason why a lot of people, they have this. They draw the torso, and they have the arms going up like this, and this is still kind of like flat, because they don't realize that your traps right here actually kind of push together, and these things pull your chest up. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. I didn't plan on explaining all of this, but it comes out. So anyway, I'll go back to this. This is your delts right here. They squeeze up. Here's your head. Here's your delt. Here is that's your trap. This is your delt. Ink that. Neck, trap, and your delt. comes up like that. So this is going to squish this. If this arm was down, this would be like this. Here's my collarbone and my delt and my arm. Chest would be like that. So it kind of pushes your chest up. Then your arm comes out from under there. Your lats come out from under there. And these are your, I can never remember the name of those things. These are the bottom of your tunnel. And then your arm here. Like that. So that's what you have when you lift your arm up. This is like one whole piece, and that collarbone is right there as well. If this was computer, I could use colors to show you guys, but it's not computer. It's like one whole section like that. Your chest will scrunch up. It won't come down flat. I used to do it flat all the time. My chest would be like this, and then my delt would be like this, and my arm would be like that. And then I would, yeah, that's good. It looks good. But then like a couple of days later, I look at it and I was like, something's just not right. And I couldn't figure it out because I never had anybody on YouTube telling me, oh, this has to come around. This actually curves around. This delt goes into the front, and this arm will be foreshortened depending on, you know, what angle the arm is. And this arm is going to go back, and it's going to be foreshortened because it cannot be the same length because it's not straight up and down. And still a lot of YouTube channels don't say that as well. They show you, and I'm not dogging any other YouTube channel, they show you basically how good they can draw. There's like, oh, I'm gonna show you how to draw Spider-Man. You draw Spider-Man like this and draw Spider-Man, but they don't really show you. They show you how they can draw, but they don't show you how you can draw something. So, and you know, yeah. Enough of my rages against other channels. I got nothing against other channels. I'm just saying, if I had found a channel like that in the beginning, yeah, oh yeah, I would have been a better artist. I'm not gonna say great artist. I would have got there quicker. So yeah, that's your Spider-Man drawing. I said I was gonna ink it, so let me ink it. Just a quick, nobody, not going to the show kind of ink. Trap right here. There's another trap right there. Here's your head or your shoulders, but it's actually called your trapezius muscle. Is it traps? Yeah, traps. It goes all the way down your back. Head, part of the neck, which I didn't show too much of the neck because the head comes down a little bit more. Neck comes down to a point, to a point. That point is right there in the collarbone, which is like that. You have your traps up here, and then that end of that collarbone goes to your delts. So here's my collarbone. Here's my other collarbone. The point of it goes right into your delts, makes that U, makes it like a U like this. It encompasses your delts, your traps, and your collarbone. Then your delt comes around. When I try to, these muscles, I get kind of confused because my brain is always 2 sentences ahead. Then your arm, you have that point, it always comes to a point. That point separates your bicep from your tricep, and then there's a little muscle in between the both of them. So that comes around. I think that one that connects. This one here kind of goes into this or connects to that one somehow, and then you have little muscles under there, depending on how you turn your arm. That your elbow comes out here, and you have the rest of that. And don't try to muscularize, that's my term, muscularize your character until you understand, just like this, that the muscles move and flex when you move your body. Now I'm doing a quick Flintstone. Ink comes here, your chest comes up under here, your chest is part of this, because you have this, and this would just be, how can I say? It's an indentation, so this is going to come around, and then your chest comes out. So that's not like a solid line. It's just kind of an indentation that they are connected. And whenever I draw and it's connected to the chest, I'll make this whole piece one, and I'll show you. Kind of like a football pad. I kind of keep this whole piece one piece. Am I still recording? Good. And of course, you got your separation, and this is just, like I said, this is just an indentation that it curves around, it goes in, and it comes back out. So it's not a solid broken line. Yeah. Ink, ink, ink. Do my Flintstone ink. This is gonna the arm, and I'm moving like you guys can see me. The arm's gonna push up against his chest, pushing it over more. You have your lats coming down. This is the opening for your abs. Remember, this is all round, so the abs are gonna be round too. Depending on how much you lean over. Like I said, if this cylinder has these stripes and I leaned it over a little bit, like that, of course these stripes are going to be closer to one another because I leaned it over. It's perspective. Don't ask me to go any further than that. So here's this, come around, here's that, the leg comes down into that, here's my knee, my calf, my foot, the crotch. Like I said, so this leg is going to actually come in front of this and goes down into the crotch. There's my tangent. This knee, calf, foot, and the back arm. Going to be shorter. And a quick way to do a fist is you have this part, you have this part, and you have this thumb coming out right here. So it's just kind of like 3 lines. You have this, 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 and this part right here. And that's even too many. So let's do this. This, and coming back, and this. I did that so wrong. So anyway, your thumb is going to come up, and you're going to have this Y like that, just the letter Y. And I'd say, if you can write, you can draw. And I'm coming out with a drawing book that will show you that that's true. So I'm going to come out a little bit more, and then you just kind of curve it. And then you have a side view for a fist. So I'm just going to bring this up and make that Y, that letter Y, because they're so small that you won't see it anyway. Now, a lot of times when you do this, you will see that second finger. You see that second finger. It does not really disappear. So this knuckle, you'll see this knuckle that comes up. You see another one that comes a little higher, and then you'll see that second finger. This one will stop here. This one will go all the way back. So the skin from this one is going to go all the way back, while this one can come and stop, kind of like right there, and this one goes all the way back. You don't have to have that much finger showing, but I mean, that's getting more detailed into it. So when you're doing a fist like that, just this, show a little thumb, and you go back, and as I said, the thumb just makes that letter Y, because when you look in here, you gotta see that little letter Y in there. So it just curves around and then goes in, and that's just a quick shorthand from, and I've done that for so long, and I want to say somebody saw one of my videos, and he did that. This is how you draw a hand, and he just did that. It was like a 5-minute video. Got over 1 million views, and I'm like, how did he do that? How are you gonna steal my little shorthand hand drawing and get 1 million views? Anyway, I'm ranting again. That's just me today. And since I didn't do this foot, let me finish this foot. And bring this up and curve it in if it's bent, and then I think you have it. And then if you want to do the face, and that's the hard part, putting a head on something that's leaning. You know, when you lean, you have this. When you lean them, how's that face gonna go? You know, where is it gonna go? Where's that chin gonna stop? Usually the chin should not come past your collarbone. It should not come past the collarbone. When your position, your character is turned and positioned. If you bring it past that collarbone, then it looks kind of quirky. So I was going to do something. Oh, head. Center line, depending on the angle, center. So that from this point here, how far is that chin? So you're going to do this. You're going to do that. And then, of course, half and half the nose, half and half the mouth. And then you should have your good position, or the right position for your face to go. And for some strange reason, I always do one eye higher than the other, even though I have a line there. One goes higher than the other. It's just me. I'm going to master that one day. So, of course, the nose should be just the same width as the eye. You should get another eye, the same size as an eye. Your mouth comes out to the center of your eye. And of course, the mouth goes where that jawbone turns. And I think the chin is kind of like the same on this line here, depending on if you're drawing a human or alien or whatever. And then you have your ear, it's kind of like the top of your eye, the bottom of your nose for those beginners. And I've got face videos on everywhere. And then you have this temple, this part. This guy doesn't really show it. There's like a temple here. Let me get a pencil and mark on my $110 dummy. And the headline here, and it comes right at the top of the eyebrow with it. If you can see this, focus camera. It's like that. Because your head curves, you have these lines that actually go before the back line. I don't know if you could even understand what I just said, because I don't really understand it. So it's going to be like this. You're going to have this. So if I'm drawing a head, I'm getting into a whole new thing now. So I put the eye here, the eye here. Here's my nose. Do an eye, Brian. Here's my nose and my mouth. So from here and here, I'm going to put the forehead, right? And then my ear is going to come back here. So the back part of this head is going to be back here, coming from behind the head. So you have kind of a shadow right here because it's tilted. And then again, as I say, where the eye is, I'll bring it down to the chin. What a great teacher you are, Brian. You're just going for it today. I know. Leave your comments. So, as I say, the mouth is going to be right here at this point where the jaw opens up, side face. Here's my nose, here's my mouth, going down like this. My mouth is open, here's my teeth. So that jaw is going to, it's my chin. The jaw is going to be right there at that line because it opens up, that latch. Just think of that latch, it just opens up. So remember, so that turn is going to be right here and going to be right here. Here's your mouth, it's going to be in that line. You're going to have a chin. The nose is going to be as wide as the eye, unless you're drawing some just beautiful, beautiful woman. Center of the eye is as far as the mouth goes. And then your chin, I believe, could be this is the same length, unless you're drawing anime. And then, of course, let's say you have your temple here, your temples there. Ear is from here to the bottom of the nose. And then your neck. The neck should, for me, for a superhero, your neck should come right out along the side of the face. Nice thick neck. If not, you're drawing a kid or a woman. Woman's shoulders slope like that. Man's shoulders are like mountaintops, like that. So, enough of all that free information. I could have done 2 more videos on that. Could have made some money off of that too, but I'm giving it to you because I'm a teacher and I enjoy teaching you guys. And because nobody else is out there doing that stuff. So, show me you love me, subscribe, and give me a like. Give me a like. If you enjoyed that free lesson that took you around the world, give me a thumbs up. So YouTube can say, hey, this Brian cat, he's really doing a good job. He's getting these people. And I can get me some people to promote me. All right, so that's going to be it for this video. I will see you guys in the next video, coming in a couple days. I try to get up every Sunday and Sunday and Thursday. Because everybody else is doing Friday, the weekends, and, Mondays. And so, yeah, Sunday and Thursday. See ya.